Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2024 Wyndham Championship DraftKings DFS preview, the final event of the regular season. DB here, Pat with me, ready to break down the full field action at the Wyndham before the top 70 and ties of the FedEx Cup. Move on to the playoffs starting next week. We're coming off the Olympics, Pat. We did a little Olympics recap discussion at the top of the betting show. We're ready to move on to the Wyndham this week, and you're bracing for tropical storm or hurricane. What is it, like Daisy or something?
Debbie. At least it's not Dana.
God dang it!
Could you imagine if it was Dana? For you would just you'd be hearing Ben Griffin talking about Dana, the Weather Channel talking about Dana. Everybody's talking about Dana.
Yeah. For those of you who missed our Ben Griffin discussion a couple weeks ago, and his sweet girlfriend Dana, who since I made that comment, he has now made his fiance.
Mm-hmm.
So she said yes. Ben Griffin recently proposed. Congratulations to those two lovable kiddos. But God dang it, if he doesn't say her name every other word in his TikTok videos. And yeah, if it were Hurricane Dana, that'd be a tough sign for me. I am a fan of Dana White. That's like the only Dana I like. I like Dana White.
Yeah.
Any other Danas? Dana Carvey was great.
Yeah, I like Dana Carvey.
What are some great? Has there ever been a good Dana golfer, male?
I don't think there's been a Dana Shore, not a Dana.
Any other good Danas?
I don't know if I know many Danas. I didn't know many Danas growing up that I can think of.
Weird start. We're off to a weird start.
Yeah. By the way, do you know that the hurricanes, they start every year with the tropical depression? They name it. They start with A. And then they, so every year. So we're at Dana. So we're at D.
You come back around? Or is this the begin? Oh.
So there was an A and a B and a C named storm, but I never heard about them.
Oh.
I wonder what happened to A, B, and C. I wonder how many letters, too. Like, what's the furthest letter they've gotten to in the hurricane season?
Yeah.
Somebody tell us that in the chat.
Has there ever been a Hurricane Pat? Hurricane Patrick?
I think there has been a Patrick. Yeah. I'm sure there's been a Hurricane David.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
definitely been a Hurricane David.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, that's hurricane talk here at the top of the Wyndham Championship. What is at stake this week? We covered this on the betting show, but you obviously have your bubble boys. Top 50 in the FedEx Cup rankings at the end of this week will be fully exempt next year. Players Championship invites, as well as all signature events, and they'll be moving on to the playoffs. Top 70 in ties all move into the playoffs next week. They all are exempt for next year. They all get in the Players Championship, but they are not guaranteed starts in the signature events. And then your top 125 will be finalized at the end of the FedEx Fall. So everybody outside the top 70 through the 125, and then your DP World Tour people coming over, your Korn Ferry Tour grads coming over, will all battle it out in the FedEx Fall, probably as well as some 125 to 150 conditional status folks will be battling it out as well for spots. So a lot of bubble boys here, lots at stake. It's a fun tournament because it is a full field event at Sedgefield Country Club, which we're quite familiar with, in Greensboro, North Carolina. Par 70 is about 7,100 yard Donald Ross design that really doesn't reward any massive skill set advantage over another. Hit your irons close, make some putts on these Bermuda grass Donald Ross greens. Everybody's kind of hitting it to the same spots off the fairway. Not a lot to be gained by being a bomber here. A lot of short to mid irons. All of the key factors have been indicated in the Bet the Number custom model this week. DB's custom model on Bet the Number is also published and public for you to take a look at for the week. But it's a fun tournament to watch because it's not just regular cut sweats and Sunday finish, but everybody on the bubble fighting for jobs, fighting for status, fighting for next year. All of those storylines seep into the weekend. It's a fun tournament to watch, but a lot of these guys are playing for a lot more than just like, let me try to win this thing. They're playing for careers and for setting themselves up for next year and to get into the playoffs, because obviously anything can happen in the playoffs. We saw Lucas Glover go from being on the outside last year to winning this tournament at 90-1 or 100-1 or whatever he was, and then vaulting into the playoffs, winning the next playoff event. and changing his whole career trajectory or back end of his career trajectory. So a lot can happen. We've seen some wild variance here. We've seen short winners in the 20s and 30-1 range, but we've also seen bombs like Jim Herman win this thing. So in terms of DFS, prepare for some chaos. There is some variance, but there's also, as we mentioned, #hurricane talk, there's weather. And the outer band of that may affect and is projected to affect Greensboro, North Carolina, as we speak on Thursday and Friday with some rain and some wind. We're recording this early on Monday afternoon. We don't have tee time waves. There could be a wave advantage. There could be, we could not play golf at all on Friday. We could have ball in hand, lift clean in place all week, knowing the PGA Tour with soft fairways and soft fairway conditions. So stay tuned for all that. We will be dishing out our regular emails this week. We'll have the Discord chats and Discord content communication. We got a bunch of caddies on site this week, so we'll pass on all that info in the Discord. But you're going to want to be involved in that. And we'll get to the picks here right after we tell you about how awesome our friends at Swannies are, which gives me this polo right here. And our friends at Swannies just had a new drop hit. That's a lot of fun. You can go to swannies.co. The link is in the description. You can use code TJ25 to get 25% off your entire order. Unfortunately, our friends at the Olympics were not outfitted with Swannies. I think they would have looked better, but they didn't ask us. But Swannies, based in the U.S., ships anywhere to U.S. and Canada. TJ25 for 25% off your entire order. Like I said, they just dropped a couple new collections. Everything from men's clothes, women's, juniors, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, quarter zips, hats, accessories, everything you can think of at swannies.co for the golf lover in your life, and for you. So should be good. Head over there to swannies.co, click the link in the description. Top of the DraftKings betting board, Pat, is Sungjae M at 10-7. This field is kind of, as the kids used to say, dog water. Kids, it's kind of dog water. So I want to talk about Sungjae because we didn't talk about Sungjae a lot of the betting shows. Like, 16-1, not betting on Sungjae to win. He hasn't won since the Shriners in 2021. It's almost been 3 full years since he's won. At 10-7, does he have to win? Probably not. The 7K and 6K range here is kind of a crapshoot. There's not a vast difference between some of these guys in the 7 and 6K range. So you could definitely get creative with lineups. I think there's going to be plenty of room to have plenty of pivots in your lineups. There's not a lot of clear, definitive studs in this field. So you could get weird. You could leave a lot of cash on the table. But as good as Sungjae is playing, he's playing exceptionally well. He's checking all the boxes, playing great. And he's obviously got a tremendous record here, which Sedgefield does tend to be a place where course history repeats itself. And guys who play well here tend to play well here a lot. Are you playing, or at least at this point, curious to play, interested to play some Sungjae as the highest priced player at 10-7?
I am interested to play a little Sungjae. Now, I do think he's probably going to be one of the chalkier plays up here, but I'm interested to play him. I mean, when you look at his history here, it just, projects out to me that he's going to do fairly well, relative to that price at 10-7. Like you said, there's a lot of things you can do to get weird. And I think I am going to get weird this week, but I may not get too weird by playing Sungjae. And I like him. I think, you look at the way he's been playing lately, a couple top 10s in his last few events. He's rested. So I think Sungjae is still going to keep it hot. And so I will be playing some Sungjae this week.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of interested too, actually. I think in DFS he's in play. I haven't played a lot of Sungjae this year, but I think in DFS I could pull the trigger. So we'll see. We'll see what the ownership comes in at. I'm not going to get crazy with it. If he's like uber chalk, I'm easily out. But I am intrigued by Sungjae. I mean, at the top, I don't know. I mean, chalk wise, I think Sungjae. I think we didn't talk about him on the betting show, but do we think Akshay is going to be chalk? I know he doesn't have the good record here, but people freaking love Akshay. Is he going to be pretty chalky at 9,100, do you think? Or do you think people are going to go to my boy DT?
I think DT is going to be a little bit of a pivot option, actually. I think, and I was trying to,
but I could feel like I could be wrong.
Yeah, I was trying to think about the chalk in this range, and it is a little bit hard to peg. I think Billy Ho is going to be chalky in my mind. And I do think Akshay, I wrote down 3 players, Sungjae, Akshay, and Horschel were the chalk for me. And I just feel like people love playing some Akshay, man. I don't care what he did. You know, he had wasn't he projected pretty high at either
Oh, he disappointed a lot of people at the 3M.
at the 3M, yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know that Akshay's game is, you know, maybe it sets up not quite so well for this golf course, but I mean, he is, you know, he's pretty accurate off the tee. You know, he's been good on approach lately. I think that the biggest thing for him is, you know, you probably wouldn't necessarily maybe like his, you know, his around the green play, but I don't think that's really going to matter that much in
No.
this, you know, unless maybe the weather neutralizes that. So I don't know, but I do think Akshay is going to be chalky. I don't want to play Akshay. I'm not saying I want he's on the list for me to play, but I do think he's going to be chalky.
Yeah, I think I'm out on Akshay as well. And I think I'm gonna have a wait and see approach here because like there's some guys I like. Okay, I'm definitely playing Davis Thompson. Like I'm definitely playing DT. He's my cash play in this range. I love the guy. I talked about him in the betting show. I think he's a world class player in the making. Um, and as you'll notice a theme here, we're kind of tossing out Genesis Scottish and Open performances, and for that matter, maybe even Olympics if they played in the Olympics. Like just different style golf. It's just different. So get DT back over here where he's dominated. He's a Sea Island Mafia member, comfortable on grainy Bermuda Donald Ross courses. I'm playing Davis Thompson. Other than that, I'm kind of a wait and see, but I am very intrigued with ownership on Siwoo, on Cam Young. We've already mentioned Sungjae, but also Jordan Spieth.
Hmm.
You know, we didn't talk about him to win. He was your fade, your short end season long bet fade on the betting show, and I get it. In DFS, I could be talked into it. He's 63rd in the FedEx Cup standings, probably going to be just fine to get to the playoffs, but probably on the fringe. I'm sure would love to get into the top 50 to guarantee all the signature event access. But I mean, I'm intrigued by Jordan Spieth in a field like this, DFS scoring potential. Yes, he's been hot and cold. He's been all over the place. He hasn't been back here since 2020 because hasn't necessarily needed to. But I'm somewhat intrigued by him and Cam Young and Siwoo, depending on ownership. I think all three could be good starting points to my lineup, including Davis Thompson.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, you know, starting with Davis Thompson, he was my cash play also, and I like him a lot this week, so I'll definitely play him. I like Siwoo Kim. You know, I don't necessarily think the ownership's going to be that high, but he's one that I think you can play in GPPs. And I am interested in Spieth, and this is where, you know, somebody that's watched the betting show and they're watching this show. Well, Pat, you faded. You faded Spieth. Well, it's a different situation in DFS because I don't think he wins this golf tournament, and that's one
Yeah,
reason I
I don't
faded
either.
him. I also think it's a safe fade. I'm trying to win this contest. I'm not trying to lose it. So I think, you know, but in DFS, if you get a lot of leverage with him on the ownership front, I think he's definitely worth a flyer on. I think you play him, and I think he is going to be low. I think he might even be in like that 6 to 8% range. And
No, no.
you think he'll be
But
higher than that?
yeah, because I think a lot of other shows and content creators are going to say the same thing we're saying. Like everybody's
Yeah,
intrigued
but
by Spieth's scoring ability, especially in terms of DFS in a weak field. Um, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do. I bet that whatever he's projected, I bet he's a little bit higher. I bet he actually comes in higher than that.
yeah,
So like if he's 12% come Wednesday night, I bet he's in at 15. 13, 14. Because when you're building your lineups and you're looking at this garbage field, you're like, oh, this could be the week.
yeah,
Jordan turns it around. And it feels kind of like you're taking your underwear off, and you're free balling or you're skinny dipping or something,
yeah.
in a public pool you're not supposed to. And it feels just kind of risky, but could be worth the payoff.
Skinny dipping feels so. Is this our second time talking about skinny dipping this year?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yes, it is. We've talked about it before. It feels so weird, but so good when you get to
Oh,
skinny.
dude, ain't nothing weird about skinny dipping. I love skinny dipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big fan.
Well, I agree. I'm not so.
And why does it? Especially like for like men's bathing suits who they're like that don't like have a liner in them or anything. They're just, there's nothing between your boys, your cock and balls
Yeah, I
and,
think
and
it's
the,
just
whatever fabric. But then when
yeah.
you take that thin layer of whatever it is you're wearing, when you take that off, it just feels like a whole new world.
It's an amazing world too. Like it's a world I want to live in.
Yeah.
Like a skinny dipping world.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Tony's here.
Yeah. Tony's here. Tony has arrived.
Oh my God.
Look at Tony.
Oh,
Look how
soak it in, boys. Soak it in.
Speaking of not in skinny dipping apparel, Lord.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, are you a
I'm
hit
free
fan?
balling in this suit.
It looks like if you had like a pilot hat or something, you could be like an airline pilot or something.
We're at a cruising altitude of 1,500 feet.
They can hire you just to do that.
The voice.
Like you wouldn't even have to fly. You would just have to do the announcements, and everybody would be like, "Man, that is a really good sounding pilot."
I feel safe on this flight just by that guy's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Speed feels like skinny dipping, and I might do it. So we'll just see. We'll see how it goes.
I don't like Cam Young as much. I can't. I'm not as intrigued by him which sounds weird because usually I'm always just
I kind of
Cam Young everywhere, but
I don't like him that much, but I am. I think this is just a field where if I can get a couple of guys that I think have real upside and scoring potential at a decent ownership rate, they're just like head and shoulders better than so many guys here. Like even if it's not a perfect spot for them, even if it's, not the best course fit or whatever, like I still think they could get it done. And Cam Young, I kind of put it in that category.
Yeah.
Now I'm out on Minwoo. So does this mean Brian Harmon is actually the pivot? Because we haven't talked about Harmon on the betting show or the DFS show.
Another one's Shane Lowry. I feel like he's getting like just. This could be grinded out Shane Lowry kind of week.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm intrigued by some of these guys. I'm just definitely not playing Minwoo Lee. I don't care what his ownership is. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the 8K range. Do want to remind the people that NFL season is coming, which means best ball draft season on Underdog. Look at these NFL drafts available for Underdog. You got $1 million playoff sprint draft, $2 million prize pool, 1 through 17 marathon draft, $1 million prize pool eliminator. You got $15 million best ball mania season 5, 1.5 to first place. It is filling up. $25 entries. It's a huge, huge contest. $500 entry, $1 million in prizes, big dog contest. You've got the 1.7 weekly winners contest. So many contest options for best ball NFL coming up. You've also got one of my favorite things to lose money on, Pat. I lost literally every one I did, but it was so much fun, is the NFL season pick'em cards. Get you a pick'em card. Jalen Hurts is going to go lower than 10.5 rushing touchdowns because Saquon's there and they're not going to do the tush push every time. I'm going lower. I'm going Tyreek Hill to tear his ACL and not get 1,435 yards. I'm going lower. I can get that for 3x return if I double those up. Love these pick'ems for the NFL season. You need to get involved, get in there and make it happen on Best Ball. Link in the description. Should pre-fill the code Junkies, and you can get a special, almost free play. I say free almost every time, but it's almost free every time.
Mm-hmm.
And up to $250 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit on Best Ball. Get in there, get involved. Obviously, we do PGA Best Ball content in the Discord every single week, especially round one. Been crushing it all year. It's been paying for your Discord subscriptions if you followed along and tailed along. But obviously NFL is a lot of fun, and the best ball stuff is just a blast. So get in there, click the link in the description, and get on some Underdog. Let's make it happen. 8K range, you got everything from Cam Davis down to Johnny Vegas, your winner of the 3M Open just a couple of weeks ago. You've obviously got Aaron Rye. Chalk is Aaron Rye. Cash play is Aaron Rye. A lot of cash lineups could start with maybe some Davis Thompson or Akshay and Aaron Rye in there. I could definitely see that. Aaron Rye is going to be 50% owned in cash, as he should be. He's probably a really good value here. We talked about him on the betting show. I have my thoughts in terms of outrights, but DFS 8,800, like, he feels like a very high floor guy, and he's shown in the last couple months, he's got some serious top 10, top 15 upside, which would probably pay off nicely at 8,800. He's never played well here for whatever reason. He missed the cut here last year coming into this event in similar form. Maybe not quite as good a form, but in good form. Still missed the cut. I don't know what his issue is with Sedgefield, but he's an enticing play that I think we will see pretty chalky. Outside of him, I don't know who's going to be chalk here. Is there anybody else in the 8K range that's really going to be popular? Is Cam Davis going to be maybe that guy? He's showing former Cam Davis form again. He's got a really good record here.
Sorry, I had like a branch or something fall on the roof here. That's fun. Anyway, so I would say I agree. Yeah, Rye's definitely going to be chalky, and it's for good reason. Cam Davis is interesting to me because I like him. I think he is. We didn't talk about him really as an outright bet, but he's got a great history here. He's been playing well. Obviously, has a win just a few weeks ago, and he followed that up with a T26 in Scotland at the Scottish Open, and then a top 20 at the 3M, which is the last event he played. So I think Cam Davis is probably going to have a little bit of chalk, but I still will play him. Other than that, though, I just don't. I mean, people seem to love Seabez, but he's a fade for me. I'm not gonna play him.
I think I'm out on Seabez too.
Yeah, I mean, will people look at Højgaard because if they watched the Olympics, he played very well there, had one of the low rounds of the week. I think he had like a 61 or 62, something like that. But I think
Højgaard trying to make it in the playoffs. He's 80th in the FedEx Cup standings. He needs a big move for the playoffs. Maybe. I don't love the course for him. I don't love grainy Donald Ross, but I mean, he finished 14th here last year. He figured it out, and he did it on the putting greens, actually, which is kind of crazy. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's a high power dude. So Højgaard could be interesting. I mean, off the cuff, like Davis and Rye for sure I'm interested in, but both I'm preparing to be rather popular. I know you hate to hear it, but I'm probably gonna stay away from. I don't know. I may not stay away from Clanton.
See, Clanton's one though actually is interesting to me.
I know, man. Like
but
he can't unleash the Kraken here because it's gonna be. He's such a. I mean, he hits it. His ball speed's 182. Like,
yeah, it is.
But he does hit a lot of fairways too.
Yeah, he's going to be like the stock market today. Like everybody wanted to play him for whatever that last event was that he played, and he missed the cut. I mean, everybody wanted to play him at the 3M.
Mm-hmm.
And after that T2 at the John Deere, and his ownership was, what was his ownership at the 3M? Was it pretty high? I think that's where the crash is. The ownership's going to crash on Luke Clanton.
He was pretty popular. I mean, the dude's hitting in his limited starts. He's hitting 70, almost 78% of greens and reg.
Yeah, he's. I think
he can't chip, but that's not an issue here.
Mm-mm.
And the thing is, like, he is a bomber, but dude, he's hitting, his average ball speed is 182 miles an hour. His driving accuracy, 68.9%. Tour average is 60. So, like, talk about a total driving machine.
Mm-hmm.
Clanton is doing it. I don't know. I might be back in now. God dang it.
Yeah, I think
I might be back in. Harris English is intriguing, and Johnny Vegas is intriguing to me. I mean, like iron play is really good, and he's flashed a little bit of putting here lately. I mean, he's 67th in the FedEx Cup, so I mean, like he does have a chance of dropping out of the playoffs despite the win.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vegas is. I mean, he can stay hot here for sure. Has plenty of upside. So yeah, my three favorites though were Cam Davis in this range. Cam Davis for GPPs, Davis, Clanton, Højgaard, and I'm playing Rye if I'm playing cash, and I'll probably play some of them also in GPPs.
I think I agree, but I would add Vegas too.
Yeah,
I kind of like Vegas. I mean, the more I look at this 8K range, the more I'm like, I mean, if everybody, like if Sungjae, Lowry, Siwoo, Spieth, Young, if all those guys get a fair amount of ownership and nobody's really all that much leverage, I may just start lineups with Davis Thompson and do like Davis Thompson, Cam Davis, Aaron Rye, or Luke Clanton.
Yeah.
Or Nikolai Hoyt, some combination. And then, I mean, once you get in the sevens, like I could think of very few possible chalk plays in the 7K and almost none in the 6K. So you'll have plenty of opportunity for leverage. All right, well, let's talk about the 7K. Before we do, I want to thank our friends at SoBet. If you've not already joined SoBet, speaking of NFL season, you should, because the best handicappers in the game, 60-plus vetted, proven handicappers are on SoBet. And the NFL season, college football season, is where you can really print the cash there on SoBet. I can tell you that right now. If you click the link in the description, code TJ should pre-fill, and that will get you your first month for $1 to test it out. It's just $1 to try it out. $1, you can try it out. You can cancel if you don't like it. No penalty, no big deal. From there on out, 33 cents a day, $9.95 a month to get access to some of the best sports handicappers out there. Not just filling up a Twitter feed or whatever, but these people are proven and got them for every sport. Of course, we do golf over there. Had a good week last week for the Olympics with our placement bets. But every sport imaginable, but they crushed it for football season. You need to get involved. The mobile app is fantastic. The website experience is fantastic. And they're both about to get major upgrades. The app's about to have a nice new upgrade before the NFL season. You're going to love it. SoBet's the place to be. They help us out during the NFL season in the Discord as well. And they're a partner for going on 2 years. So if you want to support us, support our friends at SoBet, give it a shot. If you are a regular listener to the Tour Junkies and you're listening to this show, like you do every week, and you've not given SoBet at least a try for that first month at $1, shame on you. Shame on you. It's good. It's good stuff. If you can bet, if you can play props, if you can do anything like that in the state you're in, you should be using SoBet. Check it out. 7K range. Here are my chalk guesses in the 7K range, Pat. And I don't even think... I don't know. This may be very small chalk. This could be small chalk season. In this order, I think Eric Cole. I think Gracerman. I think Denny. And I'm going to stop there. I think that might be it. Cole, Gracerman, Denny.
I think you're kind of right. I think Cole. I think Denny. I don't know for sure about Grazerman, but maybe, yeah. I mean, when you look at his recent form, do you think there's going to be some chalk on Cooch after what he just did? Do you think there's going to be chalk on Victor Perez after what he just did?
Yeah, I think there will be. I think there will be some ownership. I don't know if it'll be chalky though.
Yeah. I kind of really thought Cole and McCarthy were my two biggest chalk people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people have loved playing EVR. People have loved playing Mitchell this year. People
feels like a Poston course.
Tired of Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, Poston has the course history, but the form is bad. The iron play is really bad. He's not going to check a lot of boxes in the models and all the simulators. like somebody like Keith Mitchell will. So I think I'm out on all of them. I'm not really interested in anybody in the 7K range. I mean, I might play some Max Gracerman. I don't know about Max Gracerman chalk, but I might play some. It's so crazy to see Willie Z here at 7,600 as he continues to fall off. I don't know. What is his status? Like, is he? I guess he's 40. Oh, he's 45th in FedEx Cup points. How is that?
I think it's the early season finishes that he had really got him off. Because didn't he have some good early season success?
Yeah, you're right. 13th at Torrey, runner-up at the Genesis, 4th at API. That helped him a lot. 9th at Augusta. Literally those 3 weeks made his year. Wow. Yeah. He's been terrible since then. So I'm out. I'm out on Willie Z. I mean, I know I talked about Denny on the betting show a little bit, but I'm not going to play a chalky Denny. I'd rather pivot to like Jaeger if he's not as chalky, or even dare say Adam Svensson.
Wow. Yeah.
But I mean, this 7K range is nasty.
It's not very good. I mean, I think
it's like sexy red nasty.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
I don't know who that is. I just said, yeah.
Do you know about Megan Thee Stallion?
I don't go to strip clubs.
They're not strippers. Well, at least not anymore. They may have been in a past life. They're female rappers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Had I said like Lizzo, would you know who Lizzo is?
Yeah, I know who Lizzo is.
Oh, you know Lizzo. You don't know. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
This is nasty, like Sexy Red or Lizzo. I saw that Megan Thee Stallion. You know, Megan Thee Stallion performed at a Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta earlier this week, and she like twerked on stage and all that. I mean, I gotta say, Megan Thee Stallion was kind of hot. Not gonna lie. For some reason, I remember her being kind of like thicker when she first came out. She looks like she kind of Ozempic'd up a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
You know, #wood. She was bringing it. I'm kind of a fan.
Stallion.
Yeah, kind of a fan. Lizzo, no, thank you. Megan Thee Stallion, yeah, I might. I mean,
okay,
good on her. Anyway, let me just throw out some names. You ready? I'm gonna throw out some names. You say yes or no. No, maybe.
All right.
Yes or no.
Okay.
These are all names I'm kind of in on. It's because it could get weird. It's high variance, possibly event, right? Jim Herman won here. You know, Glover winning here. We've seen some names at the board to get kind of weird. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom. 7K. CT Pan.
No.
Runner up at the John Deere. Played in the Olympics. Did okay. Okay. Made 3 out of his last 4 cuts here. 29th in 2021. I'm maybe in on a little CT Pan. Currently 89th in the standings. Needs to get on the horse. Brendan Todd, the Todd father.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're kind of in on Brendan Todd. He's the bubble boy. He's number 70 in the FedEx Cup standings. You know, let me double check that. I think this guy is kind of a bomber, but yeah, he's a little bit of a longer hitter. Doesn't hit as many fairways, but he's just been playing decent. And I feel like I don't know why I feel like he could kind of score. What about Rico Hoey?
I'll say yes for my dad. He's a huge Rico Hoey fan.
Shout out P. Perry Sr. Andrew Novak.
Of course.
Novak was one I thought could be a cash play for me here. I would play him in cash. He's solid.
He's been really good.
Your boy Mac Meisner. You're big Mac Meisner guy. 93rd in the FedEx Cup standings. By the way, Novak is 84th. Both of these guys need a big move.
Yeah, Meisner for sure. I mean, he had a stretch with the Deer, Isco, and the Barracuda where he was top 20 every single week with a 4th at the Barracuda. So obviously he can score. And he made the cut at the 3. I'm kind of disappointed a little bit, but I think Meisner is one of the next regulars that we see on the PGA Tour. So
Seamus.
Definitely Seamus too.
We talked about him on the betting show. I've got some Seamus shame, but I'm in. We're both in. JJ Spawn. Kind of
No.
bumping his head late in the year. Huh?
Not for me.
Dude, he's starting to turn it up. I think he's.
Well, you said yes or no. I'm just saying no.
I know, but I mean, I'm trying to convince you now. He woke up a few weeks ago. I was like, he rolled over and he was like 190th in the FedEx standings. Now he's 129th.
That's what he does. He wakes up some tournaments.
Well, he's awakened. The little 4'11" bearded JJ has awakened, and his irons are incredible. His putting is turned up. I mean, look at him. 9th at the 3M, 25th ISCO, 23rd JDC, 10th Rocket Mortgage. I mean, he's doing stuff right now. I think he's in play. Victor Perez.
Yes.
71st in the FedEx Cup standings. That's why
I think. Well, you said I can't have a maybe, but I would say if Victor Perez does have some chalk, because we were both kind of like, I don't know if he'll be chalky or not. I think I may be out on a chalky Perez, but if he's not chalk, then I'll play him.
I mean, this is not the best fit for him, but he needs to make a move, and I just feel like I mean, I'm sure it was an emotional week for him at the Olympics, finishing 4th, home country. It's going to be tough to turn around, come to this course he's never played before, but he's just talented enough at 7,200. If he finishes 30th, I'm probably fine with that. Ben Griffin, Dana. You think Ben will take Dana's last name?
Probably will. I'm out. I'm going to say no on Ben. I can't say yes to everybody. I'm going to say no on Ben.
I think I'm in on Ben.
I'm going to do the opposite of what Dana said to Ben and say no.
4th here in 2022. Missed the cut last year for some dumb reason, but he's just got a lot of upside. I'm in on Ben. Cooch.
I'm in on Cooch. I don't understand why he
Cooch. What if Cooch is like 10%, which I think is chalky.
I don't think I would play 10% Cooch, but if he was less,
would you?
I like Cooch. I think we talked about this on the betting show. I'm surprised he hasn't played this golf course more. Davis Love the third won this
at
tournament
500 to 1.
Yeah, in 2015, kind of out of nowhere. I mean, he was in the twilight of his career. I mean, it was only 9 years ago, and Davis Love is not even playing on the senior tour now.
All right, so, if I give you 10% Cooch or 5% Glover, who do you like better?
10% Cooch.
Over 5% Glover.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might be playing Glover again. He's still hitting a ton of fairways. Irons are still fantastic. I'd probably play Glover. I think, I think I would. We already talked about Denny. All right. Anybody else in this range? We've mentioned a lot of names.
Yeah, I think that's it for me. Here's one. I don't know what it is, but this is like a gut play of the week for me. And I'm going to say it. Kitayama. It does not, I know it's not a Kitayama course, but there's something about Kitayama that I want to, maybe it's the T6 at the 3M. He's 43rd in the BTN model.
74th in the FedEx Cup standings, right on the doorstep. He's got a decent week.
He's always good off the tee because he hits. I mean, distance is kind of a thing for him for sure. His driving accuracy isn't great. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to get a super low on Kitayama up there at 7,900. It's intriguing to me.
Who is your cash lock in the 7K range?
I think Eric Cole is my cash lock in the 7K range. I mean, I liked him a lot on the betting show.
So he's back. He's back to being our guy.
Yeah. We're back into Cole cash season, which if you did it last year, it worked out pretty damn well for you. I bet at the Wyndham last year when he finished T14, he was $1,000 higher than he is right now. At least.
Yeah. I'm making a cash lineup right now. I'm gonna throw Cole in there. Davis Thompson, Cam Davis, Aaron Rye, Højgaard, Cole, Novak, cash lineup. 3 of 6 will make the cut.
I like it.
All right, that's the 7K range. Let's get to the 6K range, draft it up, and get out of here. I'll let you start. First pick in the 6K range, snake draft, 3 guys each. Who you got?
All right, I'm going with a guy. We haven't talked about him. He's not come out of our mouths in a long time, probably. Well, maybe he has. I don't know. But he's just he's like Junior Webb Simpson on this golf course. Chesson Hadley.
Yeah, he kind of is a junior Webb.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going with, I think he's not getting enough credit this year. And I feel like he's 98th in the FedEx Cup. And I think that's kind of crazy. Like, he's been more consistent than Will Zalatoris, who's 45th in the FedEx Cup. Now, granted, he's not gotten into all the big events, but he's done his thing. T14 at the Amex, 8th in Mexico, 14th at Valero, 6th at Corrales, 12th at the Deer, 10th at the Isco. I'm going with Chan Kim. Good total driver of the ball, decent iron player. Putting kind of sucks, but he's had a decent little run here lately. He actually ranks top 10 in DB's model. Chan Kim.
Okay.
Jolly fellow looking too, guy in his picture. Very nice smile on him in his picture on BTN. Looks real happy.
He is. He always looks happy. All right. I am going to go with a guy that I don't think, I think we're just going to get a made cut out of him. But he is. I was looking him up to see what he's made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight cuts. Ben Coles.
Gross. I don't like Ben Coles. Something about that guy.
Yeah, just kind of going with the form of making a bunch of cuts.
I got to go with the Southern boy, comfy on Bermuda, comfy on golf courses where you got to hit a lot of fairways. He is 5th in this field, last 40 rounds in terms of driving accuracy, hitting fairways. Kind of comes and goes when it comes to approach play and putting. Made the cut here in his first attempt last year, but didn't do much. He is coming off a T5 at the Deer. It was his best finish a few weeks ago. Carson Young, 66 hunch.
All right.
Good course for him.
I'm going to go with an older guy, too, like Cooch. I'm going to go with a guy who almost won earlier this season and has played, I think pretty well for the most part. He's, you look at his last few events, he's made his last 3 cuts with a top 10 in there at the Barracuda and has he was T12 here last year, Charlie Hoffman.
Gross. I don't want anything to do with that.
Okay, well. It's not, this is a combination lineup. You have to deal with it.
Kiss.
I knew it. I was going to go that route, but I knew I was leaving it for you.
We had a full Kiss discussion on the betting show towards the end. He's 400 to 1 outright, 10 to 1 top 20, 6,300 in DFS. Coming off his best finish since the match play last year on a course he won just a few years ago. Needing a big week. Putter finally starting to look like old Kiz again. Still hitting fairways. It kind of seemingly lost the driver, but lately, last 24 rounds, hitting 65% of his fairways. Better than tour average. I gotta believe. I'm putting Kiz in some GPP lineups for sure.
Okay. I like it. I'm with you.
All right, that's it for us. That is the DFS show. Check out the betting show if you haven't already. Like I said, emails coming out this week. Wednesday night live chat for Discord. All the goodies we normally do every week are here. And then next week, big event. What is next week's first? What's it called? It's not the BMW. It changes every year. Isn't it a new course too? Or is that the BMW? No, sorry. Okay, so next week's FedEx St. Jude in Memphis. So old course. Of course we know. FedEx St. Jude. 70 guys. The week after the BMW is at Castle Rock, Colorado. New golf course.
Oh, yeah. They used to play a tournament there.
Did
I don't know if it was a senior. It was a Stableford event.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Castle Rock is a good name for a golf course in Colorado.
It is. Yeah.
So next week, 70 guys, FedEx St. Jude, TPC Southwind in Memphis, be hotter than Devil Dick up there. And then Castle Rock, Colorado, I'm sure will be lovely that time of year in August. And then East Lake for the Tour Championship. And then season's over. Crazy. All right. May your screens be green. See ya. Out.